Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now reconvene our October the 8th City Council meeting, moving into our order of business for the City Council. Madam Clerk, under ordinances final reading with no objection from the council, let's take 7A and B together as a package, please.
Item A, an ordinance closing and abandoning a sewer easement in the 100 block of Wheelie Way, beginning at MH number S154A008, thence 242 feet to MH number S154A010, tax map number 154AA018, as detailed on the attached map, subject to certain conditions. Item B, an ordinance closing and abandoning a sanitary sewer and easement in the 3700 block of Valerian Drive, beginning 24.86 feet from MH number S118F040, thence 130.43 feet to 24.93 feet from MH number S118F042 for a total of 130.43 linear feet, tax map number 118FD003, as detailed on the attached maps, subject to certain conditions.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Move to approve.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve items 7A and B with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. So moved. Moving now into ordinances under first reading with no objection from the council. We'll take items 8A through D. Madam Clerk.
Item A, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 24, Section 24302, relative to enforcement and civil penalties. Item B, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 24, Section 24326, relative to parking fines. Item C, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 24, Section 24505, relative to parking meter zones and parking area maps. Item D, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 23, relative to the Metropolitan Transit Authority Board.
Councilwoman Burrs.
Move approval.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve items 8A through D with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Moving now into planning. Madam Clerk, item E, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38, zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located at 6104 and 6107 Hillocks Ridge from R3 residential zone, R4 special zone, and C2 convenience commercial zone with conditions to R1 residential zone.
Item 2024-0146, is the applicant present? Thank you. Is there any opposition present? I am not seeing any opposition. I do not need a presentation on this. Councilman Ledford?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This being in your district with no objection, move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Ayes have it. F, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38, zoning ordinance, so as to lift all conditions on parts of properties located at 6104 and 6107 Hillocks Ridge from ordinance number 1 to 809, a previous case number 2014-0008.
For the record, 2024-0148, is the applicant present? Yeah, thank you. Is there any opposition present? Councilman Ledford, I'm not seeing any opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, this being in your district with no objection from the chair, move to approve.
Second.
Thank you, sir. We do have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote on 8F? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. So moved. Moving to 8G, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38, zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located at 7405, 7409, 7410, and 7415 Sonia Lane from R2 residential zone to C2 convenience commercial zone, subject to certain conditions.
Case number 2024-0149, is the applicant present? Is there any opposition present? Councilman Ledford, I do not see any opposition present.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This being in your district with no objection from the chair, move to approve.
Second.
All right, thank you. We do have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Moving out of District 1 into District 7, 8H, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 4031 Chandler Avenue from M1 manufacturing zone to R1 residential zone.
Case 2024-0145, is the applicant present? Okay, is there any opposition present? Councilwoman Dotley, I see no applicant and no opposition.
Do home ownership in District 7, especially in South Chattanooga, so I move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, no. So moved. Moving now into resolutions. Madam Clerk, let's just take items 9A, B, and C together as a package.
Item A, a resolution authorizing the mayor, his designee, to enter into a parking lease agreement with the House of Ruth, Inc. in substantially the form attached for the lease of a parking lot located at 4327 Oakland Avenue, 4333 Oakland Avenue, and 511 West 45th Street, further identified as tax map numbers 167CB 015, 167CB016, and 167CB017 for parking by members of the Greater St. John Missionary Baptist Church for a term of 4 years with the option to renew for 2 additional terms of 4 years each with annual rent of $1. Item B, a resolution to accept the current year financial report from the Downtown Chattanooga Alliance, DCA, for activity related to the Chattanooga Business Improvement District, CBID, and approve the proposed budget for FY 2025 activities, including authorizing the treasurer to collect special assessment fees for tax year 2024. Item C, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's reappointment of Megan Creasy to the Office of Family Empowerment Board for a term beginning on August 24, 2024, and ending on August 23, 2026.
All right, Councilwoman Burrs. We have a motion on the floor to approve items 9A, B, and C with a proper second. Questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. The ayes have it. Moving now to the Office of City Attorney. Let's take 9D, Madam Clerk, 9D.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an employment agreement with Police Chief John Chambers.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to employ our new police chief with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed is no. A motion does carry. Sounds like we got a new police chief officially. You're duly employed now, sir.
Now we're gonna put it in on the 11th, right?
Yeah. Now we just got to swear you in or swear at you. Madam Clerk, 9E, please.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Wastewater to loan up to 2 generators from the Moccasin Bend Environmental Campus to Mountain City Wastewater Treatment Plant on Mountain City, Tennessee, which was severely impacted by Hurricane Helene under certain conditions.
Pleasure of the council.
Move to approve.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. So moved. All right, Madam Clerk, with no objection from the council, let's take 9F through J. Well, let's do F through I.
Item F, a resolution to amend resolution number 30906, authorizing the Department of Parks and Outdoors to enter into a third amended agreement for the Tennessee Aquarium Plaza water feature maintenance with the Tennessee Aquarium, a nonprofit agency, for an increase of 5% annually for the next 3 years, bringing the yearly total up to $432,181 for the third year. Item G, a resolution authorizing the administrative for the Department of Public Works to approve change order number 1 final for John Bryan Construction LLC of Chattanooga, Tennessee, relative to contract number Y17005-204, East Lake Community Center improvements and North River Civic Center repairs for an increased amount of $8,818.67 for a revised total amount of $84,710.67. Item H, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number E23017-201, City Hall Annex improvements to J. Brennan Construction, Inc. of Dalton, Georgia for $1,692,135.52 with a contingency in the amount of $169,200 for a total amount of $1,861,335.52. Item I, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number C23003-201, Wood Recycle Center paving maintenance to Kagan Industry LLC of Chattanooga, Tennessee for $1,177,612.13 with a contingency in the amount of $22,387.87 for a total amount of $1.2 million.
What's the pleasure? Oh, Councilman Hester.
Move to approve.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve items 9F through I with a proper second. Questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. The ayes have it. Moving into planning, Madam Clerk, 9J, please.
A resolution approving a special exceptions permit for a residential plan unit development amendment resolution number 2991, case number 2018-0091 for properties located at 6046, 6048, and 6052 Highway 153, together with 6104 and 6107 Hillocks Ridge.
Case 2024-0147, is the applicant present? Thank you, sir. Is there any opposition present? Councilman Ledford, I am not seeing any opposition.
Thank you, Chairman. Let's cross the Ts, dot the Is. This is in your district with no objection from the chair. I will move to approve.
Second.
Thank you, sir. We have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, no. Motion does carry. Thank you, sir. Moving to this evening's purchases.
Okay, we have two purchases recommended for approval this evening. The first one being Street Maintenance Division of Public Works. This is a fourth and final year with CWS Chattanooga Hauling for front-end loader and refuse pickup services. A 3% increase was submitted at the time of the renewal due to an increase in operational costs. The Street Maintenance Division has approved the increase. The new annual amount will be $400,200. Okay, the second is Street Maintenance Division, Public Works. This is the fourth and final year with CWS Chattanooga Hauling for refuse and recyclable transport services. A 3% increase was submitted at the time of the renewal due to the increase in operational costs. The Street Maintenance Division has approved the increase. The new annual amount will be $1,500,000.
All right.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve this evening's purchases with a proper second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Any opposed is no. So moved.
Okay, we have one sole source purchase to report this evening. Stormwater Division, Public Works Department, the Nature Center will distribute 1,000 native trees free to city residents and city-requested properties and projects. The program recipients will receive educational material that explains the benefit of the native tree planting for water quality. A summary report will be provided once 1,000 trees have been distributed or by the end of the program term on June 30th, 2025. This sole source purchase is for $29,199.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, moving to committee reports. Councilwoman Coonrod. Councilwoman Knoll. No report. Councilwoman Dotley. Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to bring the attention, I had received a resolution authored by Councilwoman Coonrod to be placed in legislative committee, and I know at one point there was a discussion of when that may be, and Councilwoman, I wasn't sure if that was requested to be placed on, if it's ready to go. I just wanted to make sure so that I can announce having that meeting for it. Okay. Can we do that in 2 weeks, sir? Legislative committee meeting?
Can we do it either the 15th or the 29th?
29th.
Okay. I've got a request myself that we sort of planned for the 22nd, and we've also have Public Works.
Very well.
29th acceptable with you, Councilwoman Coonrod? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All
No
right.
further report.
Madam Clerk, you got that? Councilman Ledford.
No report for committee, sir, but just make sure you take a good look at your map and contact our committee, any questions you may have.
Thank you. Councilman Hester.
No report.
Councilwoman Burrs.
No report, sir.
Vice Chair Hill.
No report.
All right, and I do have a request myself, Councilwoman Dotley, for a Public Safety Committee meeting on the 22nd concerning an accident that happened on I-24 East this past Friday that literally caused gridlock in Lookout Valley the entire day from like 7 o'clock till way after 3 o'clock. And I think there were some things that happened that led to the delay that I would like to dive into. I have talked to our Chief of Staff, Mr. Freeman, and he said he could provide us with a little bit of a debrief and maybe look at some solutions to the problems that kind of helped led to this situation. We had kids stuck at school, both at Lookout Valley Middle and High School. We had kids stuck at school at CCS, parents not being able to get to their kids. It was really a safety concern for that area. So we need to take a look at that. And the only reason I'm bringing it before the council is there are several moving pieces in this that I think might be of interest to all of us. So I'm going to request that on the 22nd then. All right, thank you. Now we come to the time in our agenda that we recognize persons wishing to address the council. Is there anyone here that would like to address the council this afternoon? Come right ahead. I'm going to ask the attorney if he would to read the rules to address the council.
Yes, sir. And at the end of each council business meeting, the chair will recognize members of the public who wish to address the council, and here's your rules. Each speaker wishing to address the council can only be recognized at the microphone up front provided for that purpose. Can't have more than 3 minutes to speak, and you can address the council only upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority and not upon matters which are not under their authority or are regulated by other governmental bodies or agencies. Don't use the floor to get engaged in any vulgar or obscene language, nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others. Address your comments to the council as a whole and not make comments towards individual council members. And lastly, do not engage in disorderly conduct or disrupting a public meeting which is prohibited by Tennessee law. Someone commits that offense if a person substantially obstructs or interferes with the meeting by physical action or verbal utterance with the intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting or gathering. Having stated those rules, please go ahead, ma'am.
Janice Gooden, District 8. I wanted to also acknowledge the passing of Sylvester Harris, who was from East Chattanooga, had been his current residence. Some of the other things that he did, he was actually a member of the Hamilton County Industrial Development Board, and he was instrumental in advocating for the Construction Career Center in East Chattanooga. So I don't know if you were aware of that. But I also want to acknowledge another person who grew up in East Chattanooga, although he was not currently a resident. This is the brother of Dr. Edna Varner, who passed on the 24th of September. He graduated from Riverside High School in 1968. He graduated from UTC. He was commissioned into the military, and before his retirement, he was a lieutenant colonel. what was most important to him was his faith, his family, and serving and mentoring. One of the gifts that he had that really made way for him was art, which started in high school. And that art took him into a space of mentoring other people. His last residence was in Kennesaw, I believe Kennesaw, Georgia. But his service was earlier today, and it was really inspiring. So there is one comment here. This is a quote from him. "We are our best when we are being creative. It is at this point when we are most like our Creator." Ernest E. Varner II. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else that would like to address the council this afternoon? Council, I am not seeing anyone else. What's your pleasure? So moved, we're adjourned.